everybody. Welcome to Everyday Genius with Meenal. I'm Isha Lakhani. I am studying psychology and I have a deep curiosity about religion, faith, and hope. So today, Meenal ma'am is gonna help me figure out my queries, questions, and any doubts that I have about it, right?
For sure, for sure. I would love to do this.
So, I'm somebody who has grown up listening to Hanuman Chalisa, Krishna Bhagwan's songs every night, every day. And later on in life, as I grew and situations happened, circumstances happened, it made my faith a little like the faith depleted. But I see other people who are very hopeful no matter what. Where does this faith and hope about religion or God come from?
Wow, good. I'm first of all very happy that at this age you want to ask about these things. So nice. Okay, let's not talk about religion or God. Let's just stick to faith and hope. Where does it come from and where does it take you, right? Because then everything is associated with this. So we don't specifically need to go into this kind, like it's associated everywhere. Now you want to know where does it come from? Where does the faith come from? So faith come from, there are whatever we experience, everything which we experience has the root causes, right? Now faith, as we are just speaking about, faith can come from the wisdom, it can come from fear, it can come from insecurity, it can come from expectations. There are so many aspects from where faith can arise.
Right.
Now you also said that faith depleted. What happens is that when your faith is, it is under the influence of the
circumstances, to some expectations.
Right. Yeah. Two things. Either it is from expectations or you have absorbed it from the surroundings. But you have never tried to try your faith.
Never go beyond something.
Yeah. And why do you have faith in something? You have never wanted to go deep into it. Then there are chances that as the situations change, as you grow, as the circumstances differ, your faith might either can go up, can go down, even can be neutralized where it is.
Right.
But the thing is that if you don't inquire your faith, then there are a lot of chances that it will differ.
Right. So I know that faith and hope both are usually goal directed. Basically, when I hope that, okay, I'm putting my faith in a power beyond me, that I will be successful in life, and success meaning I'm putting my success in my occupation basically. So if it is goal directed and I fail in a certain thing, it would depend from person to person, right? How they would react to it. So why is that some people lose faith and some people still hold on to that faith even though they have failed in it?
Nice. You said putting faith. You don't have to put faith. It's a natural thing.
Right.
It should happen naturally. So when you are putting faith, basically it means you are putting your mind into something.
Right.
And if you are putting your mind into something, if it will not happen the way you want it, so basically you are seedling an outcome. You are giving it a name of a faith. But moreover, you are thinking of some outcome, expecting something, and that you are seedling. And if that will not happen, you will shatter.
So are you saying that faith shouldn't have any expectations, or you shouldn't, like, there should not be an expectation of an outcome?
See, what happens is, whichever state you are living, if you look at the large picture, then you shouldn't be. But whichever state you are, if you are wanting outcome, it's nothing wrong in that.
Right.
But to give it a name of faith or not, because where does this come from? If you are even looking for outcome, where is it coming from? Is it coming from your desire? Or is it coming from your elevation perception? So again, there are so many aspects related to that. You have to understand where is it coming from.
Right.
Why is the need? Why you need faith? Why can't you do things without faith?
I think people need a support system. People need to know that there is something beyond themselves
Exactly. So you need something at back. That
to
means,
hold on to.
yeah, that means you lack trust.
Right. Or you put your trust in something else. Because there is self-doubt, you put your trust in a power beyond yourself.
Yeah. Again, the thing is that if that outcome is not there, that means you consider yourself as a failure, which you don't want to accept.
Right.
Can't it be that any other outcome is better than that outcome? But you want to direct into that outcome only. And if that doesn't happen, that means, and you don't want to take the blame of failing.
True.
So what will you do? You will blame your faith,
Right.
right? And then this thing come that it will shatter, you will shatter, or you will feel that, okay, now it is receding.
Right.
But the most important thing is you should be knowing where your faith is coming from. What are the roots? Why you needed faith?
So, ma'am, I wanted to ask you that there is something called collective faith, collective hope. People in groups follow a certain faith. So, how does that impact an individual human being? Are they just doing it because of the surroundings, or is it internal?
This is such a deep thing. See, you hold faith, you don't hold faith. The thing is how deeply you are connected with your own faith. When you talk about collective thing, like we talk of society, we talk of cult, we talk of religion, when we are collectively into something, what happens is it's not just about we are influenced, it's also about we keep comparing ourselves.
Right.
Now here, if our faith is not grounded, if it is not profound, then there are 70% chances or more that your faith will shatter.
Right.
Or you will start feeling yourself timid. Others are doing this, I can't do that.
Right.
So their faith must be much
Stronger.
and my faith must be weaker. You come into that comparison.
Right.
He is doing this, that should be right. Whatever I am doing, if you are weak at your faith, then collectiveness will influence you more than your own self.
Right. And the more the self-doubt and the low self-esteem, the more you will be influenced by other people.
So you, at every juncture, you must inspect your faith.
Right. Right. So do you think like your hope and faith gets shattered when collectively people's hope and faith gets shattered? It does, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
it matters. How you carry forward is up to you.
Right.
But momentary, yes.
Do you think people only turn to a power beyond themselves when they are in a crisis and not when they are like gratitude? They don't show gratitude as much as they go for crisis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. The thing is, you also speak about hope, right?
Yeah.
We have to address this as well. Now, hope is a future thing. you are looking into future with something is hope,
Right.
right? Why we fail is because either we live in past or we live in future. We don't, that movie says seize the moment.
Yeah, we don't seize the moment.
We don't seize the moment. We don't live in our current situation. Hope is a future thing,
Right.
right? And again, by hoping, we are hoping an outcome. We are holding on to the outcome, and by doing that, we are closing all other doors which could be happening to us, which could be much better than the outcome we have thought of.
Right, right. I feel like this is a very open-minded way of looking at faith and hope, but there are some people who actually are blindly following a certain kind of faith or hope. So, how do they go about it? And that is a very vulnerable position to be in, to put your faith and hope blindly into an aspect of life.
I would restructure it. If are they blindly following out of surrendering or out of fear?
Okay. Right.
If it is from the surrendering, it is a very high level, high state of living that you can surrender to, and then whatever your elevation, your evolution is the responsibility of where you have put your faith on.
Right.
So let's say about God or religion. If I can surrender, then it becomes that religion, that God, to take responsibility of my growth.
Right. You attribute your actions to the deity.
But if this blindedness which you are talking about, it's coming out of the inferiority
Right.
or fear, then you can just think of what can be the outcome of it. You will be nowhere.
True.
So keep checking at every juncture, where is it coming from and where is it taking me.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So, ma'am, that was extremely insightful. I think I've cleared every doubt in my mind, and it has enlightened me to a different level. I think I've gotten a different kind of insight on this topic. I've never heard such an insightful talk about this topic.
Yeah, it is this that we don't want to inspect things because the reason is it takes us to the uncomfortable zone.
And what we don't know scares us the most.
Right.
Uncertainty scares
Uncertainty
us the most.
is uncomfortable zone, and that is why. But we don't know that हम अपना कितना नुकसान कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर.
Right, right.
Just by investing in the inquiry and living what is true. अगर वो fear में से तो fear में से. What's wrong?
Absolutely. I think deep inquiry is necessary in any aspect, any idea or any area of life at all.
And it will help you grow profoundly, basically.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, ma'am, thank you so much for clearing all my doubts, clearing every thought in my head, every aspect of life that I had, a doubt on. And yeah, I'm gonna start my journey to understand and understand how faith shapes
Correct.
people.
If you are facing waves, then think of it. What is it? Where is it coming from?
Right.
And where is it taking you? With this clarity, you will be able to have or harvest your faith in a much better way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
ma'am.
much.
And viewers, stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.